As Juneteenth approaches and we are remembering Sojourner Truth, an abolitionist and women's rights crusader, newly unearthed documents shed more light on her remarkable life and her role as a mother on a mission to save her son from slavery. Joining us now, Dr. Nell Irvin Painter, historian, author, and Sojourner Truth biographer. And Dr. Painter, great to have you on.
Thank you.
You just saw the original document, almost 200 years,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
In Ulster County, in the courthouse. Tell us what it was like.
It was the courthouse where Sojourner Truth, then Isabella, only a few years out of enslavement. Remember that Sojourner Truth was enslaved, as hundreds of others were, in the Hudson Valley in New York State. New York was a slave state, as many northern states were. New York mandated emancipation in 1827, but it also said that minors would have to be indentured, but they could not be sold out of state into perpetual slavery. But the family that had enslaved Sojourner Truth and her son illegally sold her son to Alabama.
So it's really about her quest as a mother to gain freedom for her son.
Yes. Now, we in the 21st century recognize the heinous crime of human trafficking. And that's what this was. It was human trafficking. And if it hadn't been in New York State, it would have been legal. At this time, and for 40 more years, people were human trafficked legally in the United States. We call that the domestic slave trade.
And
yes,
Doctor, even with his recovery and coming and his release, it was not easy for him. Life was not.
You know, he was a young child. He was about 7 or 8 years old. And psychologists recognized what happened. He had detached from his mother because he felt, he didn't know any better, that she had abandoned him. So when he was brought back to New York State, he was covered in scars. He had been mistreated, beaten, and he didn't know. And he first said, "Oh no, she's not my mother." So it took several people to convince him that she really was his mother. And he got convinced. He went with his mother, but he was a troubled child ever after.
Unbelievable.
Believable.
Well, yes, you're so right. And thank goodness we have the documentation now to help tell that story. Can we talk about the federal holiday of June?
Before we move, I just want you to know that people who have been reading biographies, including my own biography of Sojourner Truth, which was published a quarter of a century ago, knew about this story. The story is not new. What is new is that it is news. And you're going to move on to Juneteenth. Juneteenth has become a national holiday.
Right.
In just the last few years, since 2020. I grew up in California. My parents were Texans, but people in California and Texas were the only people who knew about Juneteenth.
And now that it is a federal holiday, and even if you don't celebrate it, it's an American holiday. Briefly, what should we be thinking this weekend on Sunday?
We should be very grateful that we live in a country in which enslavement is not legal. It's illegal, and the traffic in children is illegal. When we think about Sojourner Truth, we should think about the fact that we live in a country ruled by law, and she was able to use the law. I mean, this was extraordinary because she was a woman at a time when women didn't have legal rights. She was a Black person at a time when Black people didn't have legal rights. And she was a poor, unlettered person going up against the elites of her community. So she is an extraordinary American, and she was doing something absolutely extraordinary. But it was possible.
Yes.
It was possible.
And chilling just even to see the X as she put for her signature. Dr. Nell Irvin Painter joining us, historian and Sojourner Truth biographer. It's so good to have you on tonight.
I'm glad to speak to you.